Manchester United drawing 2-2 with Arsenal. We've thrown away another 2 points. That's 3 draws in a row, and before that we had a defeat. So we're on horrendous form for Manchester United. And obviously the top 4 was gone already for Manchester United. We were never going to get the Champions League spot this season, but I was just hoping that Manchester United can just put a bit of pride in and win a game. I mean, I hate losing to Arsenal. We haven't lost to them, but we've twice had to come from behind again this evening in a game, and just not good enough for Manchester United. Keep having to come from behind. That first one was a terrible error from David De Gea. Not going to be too harsh on the lad, because he's kept Manchester United at bay in so many games over the last couple of years, and you don't have to go back to that game against Arsenal last season where he pulled off fantastic stops to keep Arsenal out. The defence really hasn't helped him at all this season in so many games, and one mistake it's just terrible for Manchester United because of the position we're in. We can't afford to be letting a clanger in like that, because the amount of goals we let in. I mean, another 2 today. I mean, we've got one of the worst defences in the Premier League this season. I mean, it was a completely different back four today. I mean, we're seeing Eric Bailly play for the first time in a long while. Rojo play for the first time in a long while. Darmian hardly ever plays. Delo hardly ever plays. So I can understand that he's got some injuries, but still, Manchester United have been so poor, just so poor. I can't even imagine how many games Manchester United have let 2 goals in this season. And if you want to be a top team, you look at the top teams, and the teams at the top of the Premier League and teams at the top of European football. Whenever do you see, time and time again, them teams conceding 2 goals in a game, 3 goals in a game? Rarely ever. You look why Liverpool are right near the top of the Premier League this season, because they've hardly let any goals in. Man City, okay, they've scored a tremendous amount of goals, but if they have a bad game and they only score 2 goals, they're going to win the game, because they're not letting 2-3 goals in any barely ever do they let 2 or 3 goals in. It's very, very rare they do. And if they do, they'll probably still score a couple anyway and still get a point out of it. Manchester United just constantly letting more than 1 goal in the game. Just not good enough. I mean, Mourinho's decided not to play Pogba today from the start, or Lukaku. He's gone with a pacey front 3 of obviously Lingard, Rashford and Martial. Martial continue his goal scoring form, and it's nice to see him get another goal, because he's had a couple of, I think 3 games without a goal now for Manchester United, and we want him to keep that momentum going of scoring more consistently, because that has been his main problem for Manchester United. I've been critical in the past of that. One week he'll look like Thierry Henry, another week he'll look like Bebe or Oberton. It's just no consistency with him over the few years, but hopefully that is gradually coming now with age. That is the only real positive we can take from this horrendous season so far. I mean, you would hope that some players are going to come back from injury to try. We've got to try. I mean, we've got to try and get a full. I mean, hopefully this manager won't be here much longer, Mourinho. Hopefully he'll be gone soon, and then we need to get a starting lineup that Manchester United want to play week in, week out. You look at all the top teams they've got. They know which players they're going to play 9 times out of 10, barring maybe swapping 1 or 2. Manchester United don't have a clue on probably 8 or 9 of these players in the team, which is just horrendous for Manchester United, considering Jose Mourinho is in his 3rd season at Manchester United, and when he was at Chelsea, even in his first spell at Chelsea, in his first season, he knew what starting lineup he was going to play week in, week out, and that was a massive reason of his success. I remember at the end of the season he'd hardly used many players, and hardly many players got Premier League medals at Chelsea, because the amount of players that he had utilised in the squad was very, very little. He kept the same tried and trusted players, which he knew and which he trusted. And Manchester United doesn't seem to trust so many players. He doesn't seem to know what formation, what team selection to go for. I mean, he's gone for 5 at the back again today. He just doesn't seem to know what he's doing. I mean, you're looking at Matic so poor and never gets oofed off. Paul Pogba can have a bad half, bad 15 minutes, he's oofed off. Same Lukaku, and even sometimes Martial. I mean, admittedly, Martial was dropped to the substitutes bench for the weekend because he said that he didn't think he could play 3 games in a week because he had previously had a slight injury. I don't know where Manchester United are going. I'm a bit relieved that Manchester United managed to scrape back into it when we went 2-1 down and managed to nick the point, because I was worried that Manchester United were going to lose it from then on, and I just couldn't bear to watch Manchester United lose to Arsenal. It would have been just heartbreaking for me. even though at this moment in time I'm not really celebrating the Manchester United goals, because it's just not meaning. I mean, you just know as soon as Manchester United score, another disappointment's around the corner. We're going to let another goal in, or we're going to fuck something up in the next week. It's just nothing is going right for Manchester United at the moment, and I just cannot see how this can still go. I mean, it's just gone on far too long. You're looking at like Chelsea have lost tonight against Wolves, and I'm just thinking that Sarri at Chelsea will probably end up before the end of the season being sacked before Mourinho at this rate, which is absolutely crazy to think. But Chelsea don't fuck around, and if Chelsea were not to make the top four this season, Sarri would probably be sacked at Chelsea, and we're probably still going to keep Mourinho till the end of the season and all. So and it's just the way Manchester United are going as a football club. We just seem to be accepting mediocrity. It's just not good enough for Manchester United. We shouldn't be accepting this. Look at all the other clubs around the globe would be sacking managers left, right and centre for this. Obviously Chelsea are one name. The likes of Liverpool would have done the same. So many clubs would have done the same if their manager was underperforming as much as Jose Mourinho's not getting the best out of the players. Okay, some of these players have got to really take responsibility, but I just don't know where we're going. We've got a game against Fulham coming up, which Christ knows in Manchester United can't even win that, and then we've got a dead rubber against Valencia next week. So I would like to hope that maybe Manchester United could put Chong on the bench for that game, maybe give Manchester United fans a glimpse of 10-15 minutes from him in the second half. But you know damn well that the likes of Fellaini and Matic and all this horse shit's going to play, and it's just going to be a waste of time. It won't even be worth watching, because I'm not even getting up for these games now, knowing how poor Manchester United are going to play. I'm not looking forward to them. I'm not excited about them. And if Manchester United could maybe put, I mean it's never going to happen, but if Manchester United could put some exciting young players on the substitutes bench against Valencia and even give them cameos, 10-15 minutes in the second half, it would just be something to look forward to next week. It would just give fans a bit of optimism that some of these players can actually get some minutes this season, maybe, and maybe who knows, maybe one or two of them could grab an opportunity and at least give Manchester United something to be happy about for this season, like in Van Gaal's final season when he brought through Marcus Rashford and he had that great spur of form, and it was just something exciting, a nice young talent coming through. But Manchester United have just got nothing to look forward to at this moment in time in terms of league position, and I mean, we're not going to win the Champions League or the FA Cup this season. It's just seems like the season is just going completely down the toilet, and we've got nothing at all to play for. It really isn't good for Manchester United. Anyway, we've drawn the game. There's nothing more to really say on the matter, other than that at least it stopped Arsenal from winning the game, and they've gone below Spurs, which is funny to see. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See you.